What's going on there, Twitch and YouTube world? Welcome to my new video series where I'm going to give you a quick rapid fire rendition of the top 10 weapon setups to help you get the W. I do want to squeeze out 1 to 2 more minutes for this particular video to just encourage folks to stop on my YouTube if you want to get a more detailed, in-depth explanation on why I build the weapons the way I do, and to just learn a little bit more about the game and the thought process behind everything, from the weapons to the limbs and how they meld together to become a complete setup and help you get the W. But folks have been wanting something quick, straight to the point, and don't want to sit through my 30-45 minute snooze fest. So let this be a little bit of an ad for you to check out things in more detail. I want to say two things before we move forward into this particular video for weapon setups, and it is A, everything you're going to see in today's video has been thoroughly tested in the shooting range for hours at a time, playing with my friends and having them experiment with some of these loadouts, and more importantly, sourcing all of our ideas from the original TTK charts that are available online in places like Discord, Reddit, or some Google links from particular players in the community. Without further ado, let's dive in and take a look again at the top 10 weapons to help you get the W. There will be multiple setups for some of these guns, which will extend the video just a smidge, so I'll do my best to go a little bit quick, but not too quick. All right, folks, let's go ahead and dive into things. Number 1 is going to be the Tacoma, arguably the best SMG in the game and top used throughout the entire community. I like to put the Tacoma 1.3x reflex sight, the heavy barrel, the heavy grip, and the Tacoma drum mag as my primary setup. There are a lot of folks who enjoy a more reactive, snappier version of this weapon. This setup is focused on getting you more accuracy in long range, as players are usually running ahead of you in the chase. But if you want to get quick and dirty, I do recommend swapping this out for the lightweight barrel as well as the light grip. You'll notice you get a massive boost from both of those swap outs in your ADS time. However, you do lose bullet spread and 10% range fall off with the light setup. So some food for thought depending on which version of the Tacoma you might be interested in. On to weapon number 2, we got the Kestrel, and it is going to be one of my fan favorites. I have 3 different builds for this particular setup, and the first one is going to be just my general quick scope ADS focused version. I like to run the Kestrel light stock, the Kestrel 3x advanced scope, the lightweight barrel, and the laser pointer. If you're interested in swapping out this particular sight for something like a 1.2, you certainly could do that, as it's going to give you a boost by 15% in your ADS and a 8% reduction in hipfire spread. So this is for folks who like that real quick, no scope setup versus the quick scope setup. If you want to try one of my new experiments, it is my Templar build, and this is just focused on an even quicker, dirtier, long range. It's a mix up, but it's been really fun to play with. 1.4x red dot compact sight, Kestrel heavy barrel, compensator for the Kestrel, and the Kestrel flashlight. That is going to give you a little bit more range and better handling in those quick close quarter exchanges than just using the quickscope variant with the 1.2 or 1.4 sight on it. So give this one a shot. I have a feeling a lot of you are going to have a blast with it. But Kestrel wraps up our number 2 spot, and with that being said, let's talk about weapon number 3. The Terracon Maniac is the king of ARs right now and has finally dethroned the mighty M4, and it is going to consist of the Terracon 1.3x reflex sight, Terracon drum mag, the Terracon laser pointer, and this stubby foregrip for the Terracon. Now, personally, there is a laser beam version that I introduced to folks in my original video that was created by a player called Veckenstein. And the biggest difference here is we got rid of the sight. We would swap that muzzle out for maybe either the silencer or the noise suppressor. And that's, do you want more recoil or do you want ADS while you're moving? And then we're going to go ahead and swap out to the tactical foregrip, and we can switch the laser pointer to the flashlight. So this is one of the original builds that I had introduced to folks, but again, right now I do recommend going with the 1.3 where you remove the muzzle, swap out the tactical foregrip for the stubby, and move the flashlight back to the laser pointer. This is just going to, again, focus on that more reactive, just chase oriented version, and the other one is going to be more accurate, long distance, laser beam oriented. Either version of this particular weapon are going to treat you well, so take them for a spin, see if you win. Moving on to our fourth weapon, it is going to be the Influencer. I think the Influencer right now is a fan favorite for a lot of folks. And again, there are two specific variants I think you should take for a spin. One is going to be heavily focused on accuracy and recoil control, but the trade-off is it's not a great chaser. If people are moving around all over the place, you're going to be weighed down by penalties to your ADS time, your reload time. So let's take a look at version number 2. But before that, let's talk about this one: Influencer heavy stock, Influencer heavy barrel, Influencer heavy grip with the flashlight. Again, recoil control and accuracy. My current version of this setup does consist of the light stock, the 1.3 over the flashlight, the lightweight barrel, and the light grip. I do like to sometimes swap this out. If you take a look, you can reduce the spread with the flashlight, and I'd be willing to maybe swap out the light grip for the ADS speed. This is going to, again, be a little more accurate and a little more mobile. So if folks are running from you or you're in a lot of flight battles, turn the Influencer into a lethal option. That's going to wrap up our fourth weapon there for you as we get into number 5, which doesn't really require any explanation at all. Remember, this social justice weapon here has a higher fire rate and, more importantly, has a really boosted headshot multiplier. The last point I'd like to make with this particular weapon is the kite itself is in a really good spot again. So you could swap that out for just the kite in general, but this is one of the best hip fire weapons in the game. If you want to pair it with something like Ripper or close range meta of your choice, it's going to treat you well. If you need a kite build, I will quickly throw one up on the screen that I used in the past, which consists of the light stock, light grip, drum mag, and the compensator. Moving on to our 6th and 7th spot, we're going to talk about the Kochi and the Hawk. First is going to be the Kochi, which has gone through a lot of variations, but I have finally settled on the Kochi heavy barrel, Kochi tactical flash hider, which you can remove and maybe swap out for something like a grip, which will boost the reload time, or you could even go with the pistol grip, which is going to help with that sway and bullet spread. This gun has a lot of bullet just noise and shakiness when it comes to aiming it, but for me, this is what's working right now. And to wrap that up, it'll be the drum mag and the compact laser pointer. Moving into number 6, we do have the Hawk with the 1.3 reflex sight, the Hawk light barrel, the Hawk light grip, and the stubby foregrip for the Hawk. I have found this to be a pretty reliable weapon whenever I pick it up early in the game, and it is something to be feared. If you're playing on controller, I think you're really going to like this weapon. And for now, I don't have any other main variations other than maybe getting rid of the light barrel and replacing it with something like the silencer, which will give you a boost in ADS movement speed. If you find yourself strafing side to side or walking forward while shooting your light machine gun, ditch the barrel, go for the silencer. I think you'll be in a good spot. Let's keep it moving. On to our 7 and 8 spots, we got the Flenser. The Flenser is still a really great weapon, and I don't have any multiple variations for that. What's been working for me is kind of the similar thing I told you about the Influencer. I want it to be mobile, I want it to be reactive, and I kind of want it to be great when chases start to happen because everyone's running Roadrunners. Flenser light stock, 1.3x reflex sight, Flenser lightweight barrel, and the laser pointer. On to our number 8 weapon, and it is going to be the AZV-100. 1.3x reflex sight with the compact laser, the angled foregrip, and the silencer for that boosted movement speed. I do encourage you, if you can get the Doom Zero version, to stick to this particular one. There's major boosts in terms of its damage with the trade-off of you not having a stock. And since this build doesn't require a stock, highly recommend this build for you. Moving on to number 8 and 9, we would be remiss, I should say, if we didn't include the piercer. This thing is badass, and I think folks are going to have a really great time with it. I recommend that you have the 4x to 8x adjustable scope, as every other option is going to be an 8x and has significant penalties to things like ADS or movement speed. Then we want to focus on trimming down our ADS time with things like the piercer lightweight barrel, the laser pointer, which I just can't afford right now, but the flashlight's not bad since it helps out with sway and spread, but get the laser pointer for sure, and the angled foregrip for the piercer is going to treat you well. Last but not least, taking the number 10 spot is going to be the M4. Not quite out the meta yet, but does require a little bit of experimentation to see what suits you. The M4 heavy barrel, the silencer for that ADS movement speed, the angled foregrip, and the Commodore drum mag. And that's it, folks. That is going to wrap up your top 10 weapons to help you get the W. And I hope you like this instead of my long-winded versions, and I'll work to keep this coming out in the future. And as always, until next time, folks, peace, love, and happiness. Thanks for stopping by.